welcome to Posh America. My name is Pete Urich. I am your host. Hopefully, and you didn't come here to look for information about this woman, or you didn't come to hear this woman talk about how to sound more elitist and speak with a more posh accent. Uh, my optimistic self makes me believe that it's the year 2026 right now, and the United States has just won the World Cup for the very first time, and you are a soccer fan who's looking to get into the English Premier League, and all of a sudden you recognize, oh, I don't want to be a front runner and go for Man City or Liverpool or Manchester United or Chelsea. You've decided that you want to take on a team that just got promoted into the Premiership, and it's 2026, and Peterborough United is one of the new teams, and you've decided to support them. Might not be true, but more than likely it's still 2021 or someplace along there. And you are an American fan of soccer that is looking for a team to support. 5 things that you need to know as an American Posh fan. These are 5 important things that I think you need to know. There's obviously going to be way more, but ultimately, these are kind of my top 5 for things that you would need to know as a brand new Posh fan. All right. Number 1, don't talk about the Crystal Palace game. Rule number 1 in Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Rule number 1 as a Posh fan, you don't talk about the Crystal Palace game. Why? I'm going to tell you. I have to talk about it because of the fact that you're probably brand new to this whole entire thing. Is you don't talk about the Crystal Palace game because in 2013 we got relegated from the Championship down to League One again because of the fact that we lost in the final match to Crystal Palace. Now, we lost 3-2 in a game that we were leading, and we were relegated with the largest amount of points ever in the history of the Football League for a team that got relegated. Absolutely crazy situation. It hurts Posh fans to talk about it. Number 2 is you can and should know about Old Trafford. Old Trafford is referring to the playoff final against Huddersfield. If you go onto YouTube, there's a video that is called Those 7 Minutes, and basically it shows in a 7-minute stretch, Peterborough United put in 3 goals against Huddersfield in the playoff final in order to get promoted to the Championship, which is what ended up leading to the Crystal Palace thing about a year and a half later, 2 years later. Number 3 would be it's London Road. Our home stadium for the moment, because we're building a new stadium. Another great reason to become a newly informed Posh fan from the United States is it's always London Road. It's been called the Weston Home Stadium at the moment. It's been called Abax, but ultimately any Posh fan knows that it is London Road is our home stadium. Now, what the new stadium is going to be when it comes into fruition, who knows? But at the moment, that's one of the things that you need to know. The Holy Trinity, number 4. Okay, the Holy Trinity is not referring to any kind of religious thing with, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost and everything like that. Even though Peterborough does have a huge cathedral in the middle of town, it's not referring to anything religious. It's referring to the combination of George Boyd, Craig McHale-Smith, and Aaron McLean. And basically, they were 3 players that played for us when we made our initial ascendancy through League Two to League One and then to the Championship, getting back-to-back promotions. The Holy Trinity, they were a great combination that scored a lot of goals for the Posh in those early years of the Darren McAnthony reign. And then the final one would be the traditional rivals. Northampton is probably the closest thing to a derby. MK Dons has been a rival at certain points in history, just because of the fact that they've gotten promoted at the same time as us, relegated at the same time as us. They've always been thereabouts. That's kind of fallen off recently. And then Cambridge United is another one that's a local rival, and I've even heard Lincoln, but that's kind of personal for certain people just because of some games. And then the Huddersfield thing, we seem to have some kind of a history with Huddersfield. So those are 5 things that you need to know as a brand new Posh fan. Now, why the heck am I doing this? Well, ultimately, having been a Posh fan for about 17, 18 years now, I take a huge interest in the team, and I pay way more attention to them than I do to any of the Premier League teams. I don't even really have a Premier League team. My son supports Everton, so I kind of pay attention to them. Fulham used to have a lot of American players, so I used to pay a decent amount of attention to them. But if they get relegated and Posh are in the championship, like we should be, with 6 games to go, we're in second place. We've got a little bit of a gap between us and Sunderland, who are right below us. We're going to be moving back to the championship, and like I predicted early on in the episode, we're going to go up to the Premiership by 2026. That's my hope, anyway. Fingers crossed. I'm extremely optimistic, as you can tell. So anyway, I'm looking to build the Posh fan base on this side of the Atlantic, because of the fact that as we get into the championship, I'm sure that our ownership group, with Randy Stewart Thompson and Dr. Jason Neal and then Darren McAnthony, that they're going to come to the United States and do a tour, playing against USL clubs or things like that. And I think that having a US based fan base would be awesome. And I want to be the one who is starting that revolution. All right. Have a great day, people, and up the Posh. Few groups of people that I really want to just draw attention to. So they don't sponsor this podcast or video blog, whatever you want to call it. But they are people that I want to throw a little bit of credit to. First one being Cape United. Caden's a great kid. He is doing great things with his video podcast that he does. Go and check out his stuff on YouTube. He's getting closer and closer to having 1,000 followers, and that's one of his goals in the relatively near future, that he wants to get over 1,000 followers. So helping him out would be awesome. Second would be the Yellow Block. Those guys I've been referred to as a friend of the show, which is awesome. I don't know if that's in any way sarcastic or or something along those lines, but the Yellow Block is a great podcast about Peterborough United. And finally, the Hard Truth podcast, which is Darren McAnthony, which is our chairman. He has a podcast that talks about the football league and the business behind football.